The sound of heavy breathing filled the Las Vegas federal courtroom as the judge delivered the final verdict. Rick Harrison and Chumlee Russell were overwhelmed by the weight of their sentences, collapsing in shock. The dramatic scene left the audience stunned, highlighting the intense emotions surrounding the case. A priceless moment, one that seemed unimaginable for television stars who had dominated the screen for years. Everything changed in an instant when the final ruling was announced, marking the unbelievable end to their public lives. But what led to this tense and shocking confrontation between the beloved Pawn Stars' personalities and the justice system? This explosive legal battle was not just an ordinary lawsuit, but a clash between image and reality, between beloved TV stars and harsh truths. Here's everything you need to know about the legal war that erupted, bringing a major shock that changed the entire public perception of the icons of History Channel. If you're curious about the untold stories of the Pawn Stars stars and their intense legal battle, don't forget to hit like, share this video so others can learn, and leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any exciting upcoming videos. Now, let's dive into the story. Kneeling, Harrison and Russell are widely regarded as two of the most influential figures in reality television, famous for their contrasting personalities, historical knowledge, and unmatched ability to bring authenticity to every episode of Pawn Stars, the hit show on History Channel. Their decade-long career on television includes iconic moments such as high-stakes negotiations, historical discoveries, and memorable interactions that have captivated millions of viewers worldwide. However, their legacy extends far beyond their television achievements, with their influence on the collectibles market, their contributions to popularizing history, and their intentional decision to build a tourism empire in Las Vegas, painting a picture of entrepreneurs who transformed a family pawn shop into a global phenomenon. Harrison's television career was built on a foundation of business acumen, historical expertise, and an unwavering commitment to the deal. Despite initial skepticism about the show's concept, he refused to let the doubters define him. Instead, he channeled his determination to build both the gold and silver pawn shop and his television presence. This eventually earned him a spot as one of the most well-known entrepreneurs in America. His performances garnered critical acclaim, solidifying his reputation as a shrewd but fair figure in the pawn industry. What sets Harrison apart is his ability to educate viewers about historical artifacts with depth and accessibility, resonating deeply with audiences across all demographics. While their television work made them famous, the behind-the-scenes businesses showcased their entrepreneurial mindset. After building their personal brand through the show, they diversified into restaurants, retail stores, and personal appearances, earning millions, which later became the center of a legal battle threatening to destroy their carefully built empire. The aftermath of Pawn Stars' success saw both legitimate businesses and alleged criminal enterprises follow drastically different paths. The trajectory of gold and silver pawn shops soared after the show's launch, becoming one of the most popular tourist destinations in Las Vegas, attracting millions of visitors annually. Their careful approach to sales, along with strong brand recognition, positioned them as a resilient symbol of American entrepreneurial spirit. While federal investigators faced immediate challenges, the complex web of transactions spanning multiple states and business entities posed major obstacles, with a small piece of final evidence eventually emerging. The stark contrast between the public business operations and the alleged underground activities created tensions that would escalate over time. "We built this business on knowledge and fair deals," Harrison often told reporters during the initial investigation. "But scrutiny makes you stronger. I was determined to cooperate fully, especially when the charges seemed unrelated to our actual operations." This determination fueled a methodical and increasingly public approach to their defense. While many of the targets of federal investigations may have completely avoided comment, Harrison and Russell maintained careful transparency throughout the process while asserting their innocence. Press conferences discussing the impact of the investigation on their business garnered sympathetic attention, identifying them as victims of overzealous prosecution. The early 2020s saw a stark contrast between public support and mounting evidence as both reached new levels. Fan campaigns declaring their innocence garnered millions of followers, while prosecutors quietly gathered financial records showing growing concerns over the image of a sophisticated criminal enterprise operating behind the legitimate pawn shop business. However, Harrison and Russell struggled with the mounting legal pressure, threatening to expose their alleged operational issues. Their legal team responded with increasingly complex strategies. "Facing allegations completely at odds with our public image has been devastating," Harrison admitted in a rare candid interview. "We turned to what we know best, transparency and truth, and hoped that would be enough for the public." The defense was in stark contrast to the increasingly focused prosecution. By 2022, the gap between their public persona and the alleged criminal activity had become vast. While supporters still believed in their innocence, federal prosecutors had assembled a case involving more than 15 million illegal transactions and sophisticated money laundering schemes through the pawn shop, which would soon be revealed in the most dramatic way possible. This ultimately led to criminal charges after years of investigation. A discovery during the 2022 audit of previously sealed financial records by forensic accountant Thomas Richards revealed these intricate transaction patterns in their business accounts. "You can clearly see systematic efforts to move illegal money through legitimate business resources specifically designed to conceal their origins," Richards explained during a quickly circulating congressional hearing among financial crime experts. The financial records became a focal point in legal circles as law enforcement analyzed the complex transaction network between the pawn shop and multiple shell companies. A week later, prosecutors revealed documents estimating the operation had laundered around $15.7 million using sophisticated structures designed to hide activities over many years. These were not simple accounting errors. These structures required intentional planning and maintenance over years, the lead prosecutor told the jury. Both Harrison and Russell played key roles. This mounting evidence revealed an alleged financial crime scheme, seemingly the final catalyst in the case. Within weeks, federal prosecutors had assembled a case and filed multiple charges against Harrison and Russell, including conspiracy to launder money and extortion, which could lead to life sentences if convicted on all charges. These charges weren't just about money. They represented a fundamental challenge to their core public image as honest entrepreneurs with knowledge and fair dealings, which had made them television icons. The legal actions sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, with experts calling this potentially the most significant case involving reality TV celebrities in history. Court records revealed startling details about the alleged criminal enterprise operating behind the pawn shop. Internal communications from 2018 showed many associates had actually warned of the possibility of exposure. However, concerns over maintaining their public image led to a calculated decision. "The current structure carries an unacceptable risk of detection," read one secret document, recommending an immediate reorganization before further transactions were conducted. The first day of the trial was shaped as Harrison and Russell walked into the courtroom. Financial investigators were clearly monitoring their every move, while government lawyers arranged stacks of financial records in front of them. The beloved television personalities who once entertained millions were now facing the legal reckoning they had long avoided. Your Honor, this case involves a large-scale systematic money laundering operation. The prosecutor opened a careful investigation, building a facade of legitimate business while deliberately handling millions of dollars in illegal money. The trial quickly became tense when newly discovered financial records were presented in court. Harrison was seen shaking his head decisively, occasionally leaning in to whisper to his lawyer as particularly damaging evidence was brought forward. Meanwhile, Russell appeared increasingly distressed as the prosecution outlined his alleged role during the tense questioning process. Agent Miller, did your testimony state that Mr. Harrison personally directed these transactions? The prosecutor asked. His signature appeared on all the key documents. FBI investigator answered confidently, and these signatures allowed the establishment of shell companies specifically designed to conceal the source of the money. The courtroom became especially tense during the testimony regarding the timeline of the alleged operations. He stated that these financial structures were sophisticated enough to imply intentionality, not asking the prosecutor whether they required planning and widespread financial maintenance. The expert answered firmly, Harrison clearly agitated, adjusting his glasses. The judge admonished, "Please maintain decorum in my courtroom." Financial experts testified to the complex nature of the alleged money laundering operation. These structures were designed with one main purpose: to conceal the source of the money. Dr. Eleanor Jenkins, forensic accounting expert from Georgetown University, testified. The multiple layers of transactions did not serve legitimate business purposes. The defense focused on the legal aspects of their business and the potential misunderstandings of the complex financial arrangements, arguing that they had relied on professional advisors and had no intent to commit a crime. My client has built a legitimate business empire employing dozens of people, their lawyer argued, stating that these financial structures were indirectly recommended by experts they trusted. As the trial neared its conclusion, fans watched with deep interest. This was not just a legal battle, but the potential downfall of beloved television icons whose appeal had been built on authenticity and expertise. Financial forensics became the central element of the trial, with accountants tracing money across years of transactions. The figures were even more staggering than the amount of money laundered, with an estimated total of $15.7 million laundered through complex networks of shell companies, worth an estimated $2.3 million to maintain, and sophisticated accounting systems designed to conceal this operation, adding another $1.8 million in operating costs. On the final day, the courtroom was surrounded by supporters, some holding Pawn Stars memorabilia, while others wore shirts with the show's logo. The atmosphere felt electrified as Judge Eleanor Blackwood prepared to deliver the verdict after 8 weeks of testimony in the case of the United States versus Harrison and Russell. If you're surprised by this story, leave a comment with the number 1. If not, leave a comment with the number 0. Now, let's continue this story together. The judge began this court session carefully considering the evidence related to finances, transactions, business operations, and the actions of the defendants over the past 7 years. The room was so quiet you could hear the rustling of papers as Harrison and Russell leaned forward, their hands tightly clenched in front of them. The court finds convincing evidence that the defendants engaged in systematic money laundering through sophisticated financial structures, the judge continued, particularly in creating and maintaining shell companies specifically designed to conceal the origins of the illegal funds. Harrison's eyes widened, Russell appeared visibly pale, and their family members exchanged worried glances. The court declared both defendants guilty on all charges. The judge stated confidently, "Considering the scale and sophistication of this operation, along with the public trust in the defendants' positions, the court must impose the maximum sentence." The judge's ruling was clear. Harrison and Russell would each receive a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 25 years, along with the forfeiture of assets related to criminal activities. The court sentenced both defendants to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after serving 25 years. The judge further declared that all assets related to these illegal activities would be seized for the U.S. government. The reality struck them with a physical blow after a decade of building their television empire, having become symbols of historical knowledge and entrepreneurial spirit. This moment was something they could not have imagined. Instead, the reality of a life sentence, a direct contradiction to their carefully constructed public image, felt like the final episode of a series. No one expected it. Harrison's face went pale, beads of sweat forming on Russell's forehead as the judge continued reading the full verdict. Additionally, the defendants were required to make full restitution, and the judge's voice became distant, drowned out by the roaring in their ears. The courtroom began to spin, and their lawyers noticed something was wrong, placing a hand on their arm, but it wasn't enough. The beloved TV personalities who had entertained millions had now faced the legal reckoning they had long avoided. "Your Honor, this case involves a large-scale systematic money laundering operation." The courtroom trembled. The reality TV icons, once proud of their composure, now lay unconscious before the prosecutors and the world. "They are having severe physical reactions," a doctor in the courtroom shouted, pushing through the crowd. "Give them space. Someone call emergency services." As medical staff rushed in, photographers captured the scene that would dominate entertainment headlines worldwide. Rick Harrison and Chumlee, the beloved Pawn Stars personalities, were carried off on stretchers, their emotional weight of legal defeat finally taking a physical toll. Outside the courtroom, family members were seen briefly comforting each other, while the executives of History Channel stood silently in shock, refusing to comment as they were escorted by security. The medical drama quickly overshadowed the legal verdict. Entertainment websites and social media exploded with reactions as fans shared updates and messages of support using hashtags like Pawn Stars Justice and Free Rick and Chum. Three days later, still looking pale but regaining composure, Harrison released a statement through his lawyer. "We assert our innocence and will appeal this verdict with every available resource," he wrote with characteristic determination. "The truth will ultimately come to light." Concerns over health seem to have changed something fundamental in the public narrative. In a surprising turn, some former business associates made statements questioning the verdict. According to an anonymous source, many in Las Vegas considered the sentences too harsh. Although official representatives would not comment on the possibility of an appeal or the specific legal strategies, Russell's next statement carried a defiant tone. "This fight is far from over," he said through his lawyer. "While we face the toughest challenge of our lives, we still believe in the appeal process and the truth." The entertainment world buzzed with speculation about what might come next. "This case has changed the landscape of reality television," commented a veteran producer. "The contrast between their public image and these allegations raises profound questions about authenticity in this genre." Media observers noted that both men seemed prepared for a lengthy appeals process. Fan forums immediately lit up with conspiracy theories and alternative explanations, although legal experts warned that appeals face significant hurdles. When asked directly about their clients collapsing in court, their lawyers offered a measured response. "The physical reactions you witnessed show the profound shock of innocent men facing an unjust punishment. We remain committed to proving their innocence through the appeals process." The legal battle had become something unexpected, a potential real-life crime story rather than a reality TV plot. Interest in Pawn Stars remained strong, with streaming services reporting increased viewership despite the convictions, as viewers revisited episodes to search for hidden clues about the dual lives of fans who had followed their careers for years. The case may serve as a profound lesson about the hidden gap between TV personas and reality. The collapse that shook the entertainment world wasn't just about men reaching their breaking point, but could be the beginning of a legal story that will test if their carefully crafted public image can withstand the ultimate challenge. What do you think about the shocking sentences for the Pawn Stars? If you find this story interesting and want to learn more about the Pawn Stars and their intense legal battle, don't forget to hit like, share this video with your friends, and leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any exciting upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.